Welcome to Ms. Trudy's classroom. Thank you for tuning in to the classroom. Today I'd like to talk about the importance of having some kind of academic activities during the summertime and the reason why we need to have these activities. Research has shown that approximately 30 to 40% of what your child has learned during the academic school year is lost in the summer. And to avoid some of this loss that occurs during the summer, it is good to have academic activities. And I want to give you an example why it's important to have these activities. If you can imagine that you've been sick and you haven't driven for 3 months, and you recover and you start driving again. Initially, you're a little shaky, you have some confidence loss, and it's going to take you a little time to get your confidence back in driving and starting feeling secure. Or let's say that you're a runner and you've been running for 9 months and you're running 6 miles a day. Well, you're doing great at running 6 miles a day, but all of a sudden you stop running and you stop for 3 months. Do you think that the day that you start back to run again after 3 months, you're going to run 6 miles in one day? It's not going to happen. You're going to have to build up again and start building up the mileage. Well, the same thing happens to your child. When your child hasn't been involved in any kind of academic activity, they're going to feel insecure. They're going to feel a little shaky going back. This is very common in the elementary school. And your children need to get their confidence back. And you can do things at home that are very simple to do and will not take a lot of time to do. That's why we need to do things that will stimulate their brain during the summer. They don't have to be rigorous. They don't have to be intensive. As a matter of fact, this is a good time for you to have fun learning. Let me give you a few examples. For one, you can go to the public library once a week and check out books. That activity you can do every week during the summer, and that will build up their reading skills and their vocabulary skills. Another thing that you can do in the library while you're there is ask the librarian if there are any summer reading activities for elementary school age children. Often they will have some kind of summer reading activities that your children can participate at. Another thing that you can do at home, and it's an activity that you start out playing and you come home and finish. And that is you can take your children out to the park. And when you're taking them out to the park, take some pencils, some crayons, and some papers, and have them draw what they like, what they're seeing while they're in the park. Have them draw that and have that as a fun activity for them to do. Then when your child gets home, have them write a few sentences about what they saw in the park. And this will stimulate two things. One, it will stimulate their drawing skills, and number two, it will stimulate their writing skills. Let's say if you have a child that's in kinder or first grade, maybe they can attempt to write 1 or 2 sentences. If your child is in the second or third grade, maybe they can write 2 or 3 sentences. And for the older kids, there are a lot of different writing activities that can be fun. For example, your children are always making requests of you. Mommy, will you take me here? Mom, will you buy me this? Mom, I need that. Well, why don't they put their request in writing? Let them write a few sentences why they need that video game, why they need to go to that movie, um, why do they need to bring their friends home to play with them, what are they going to play, what are they going to do. And that way, two things are going to happen. They are going to practice their writing skills. Is their writing legible where you can read it? If you can't read their writing, the teacher's not going to be able to read it neither. So that's one reason why. And the other reason is also um, in writing at school, they always have to justify uh, why they want it or what happened in the story, who was involved in the story, what happened in the story, how did the story begin, how did the story end. And you're not asking them about a story, you're asking them why do they want that particular thing, or why do you want your friend to come over. That will help them practice their writing skills. So that's a good activity for them. Also for the older kids that are asking for video games. Well, this is a good time for them to write a review of the games they already have at home. For example, what is it that they like from the game? How many people can play the game? Is the game easy to play? Is the game difficult to play? How many characters in the game? What kind of environment is the video game about? And you know what? They can even submit these to various websites. There are now websites for kids where they can submit reviews. So that is a good use of their writing skills, and it can be fun for them. Another skill that we need to consider is math. Math is a very important skill that they will need the rest of their lives. I think of math, I think of money, because children are going to have to deal with money the rest of their lives. They're going to have to deal with math in some way, shape, or form. One of the critical areas in math that children need a lot of help in is division, algebra, and fractions. And if the children don't have basic background in those areas, they're going to have a difficult time in math. And one thing you can do at home that will help them is to learn their multiplication tables. If they learn their multiplication tables in the summertime, they are not under pressure. They can take their time learning these multiplication tables, and they won't feel the crunch. Whereas if it's the academic school year and they have to learn it because they have to apply it, there's a lot of pressure on the kids for them to perform. Right now, during the summer, there isn't. They can take their time to learn the multiplication table. It is one of the foundations of math. So I strongly recommend that you take 15 minutes in the morning of practice, 15 minutes in the afternoon of practice, and let them practice during the day. And then on Friday, have a contest and see how many multiplication tables do they know. And in the process, you'll be finding out what they know and what they don't know. You can use flashcards that are simple to make at home. These flashcards do not take any time to make. Kids love to make flashcards. They're easy to make, and siblings can help the smaller children learn the timetables. So these are just a few of activities that you can do that can keep your children stimulated and occupied during the summer.